Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be turning this men's dress shirt into a two-piece set. What I love about this particular shirt, aside from the color and the pattern, is that it's wrinkle-free. It's perfect for those lazy days where I don't want to steam my outfit, which is pretty much every day. So let's get started. First, I lay down the foundation for my pattern pieces with a thin black tape. For this design, I was imagining something that is an ode to the 1950s. I wanted it to have an air of elegance with a fitted bodice and a plunging neckline. Once I have all my pattern pieces created, I lay them down flat to perfect the lines using a set rulers. Straight lines are pretty straightforward. For curved lines, I move my French curve around to see where the curve matches up closely and then draw the line there following the ruler. To make sure that all my seams will match up, I pinned them together and made adjustments as needed. Once I have finalized my pattern pieces, I cut off the seam allowance and then trace the pattern pieces onto paper so that I can use them again in the future. Next, I took apart the dress shirt and ironed all the pieces flat. Because I needed the entire body of the original shirt for the maxi skirt, I need to fit all the top pieces onto the sleeves, or else the final outcome will look sloppy because as humans, we find symmetry to be more eye-pleasing. I ended up not having enough for both the main side and the lining, so I used another shirt to create the rest of the lining pieces. Once all the pieces were cut out, it was time to put together the bodice, starting with the cups. I first sewed the top seams together. However, I realized that was a mistake and stopped what I was doing to create the interfacing pieces to give some structure to the top because the fabric too soft for what I was going for. Next, I sewed the darts in the cups. If you are going to make this top, please sew the darts first and not after the top seam. Next, I pinned and sewed the skinny piece under the bust to the bodice piece. Because these two pieces have some pretty aggressive curves, I snipped the seam allowance to help with the sewing. I also ended up basting the two pieces together because the pins were too long and they were getting in each other's way. Once that is done, I pinned and attached the cups to the front-facing fabric. Next, I pinned and sewed the back piece to the front piece. At this point, the top was beginning to take shape and it was pretty exciting to see my vision come to life. Next, I attached the lining to the main fabric, but only at the bust area. Next, I created the straps and attached them to the top. It's a little bit hard to explain what I did, but I hope it's clear in the video. Once I pinned everything in place and sewed everything together, I tried on the top to see what's the best position for the straps, and then attached the straps to the back. Next, I created a burrito at the top and sewed the bottom hem together, and then flipped the shirt right side out. To finish off the top, I hand sewed the opening at the top and then added a closure system to the back of the shirt. Next, it was time to create the skirt. First, I traced out the patterns for the skirt piece using the patterns I created from my previous slit, which I'll link the video down below. But for this design, I'm going to extend the hem so that it's a midi skirt instead of a mini skirt. Because this skirt doesn't have a liner, I searched the side seams to prevent them from fraying. Once that was done, I sewed the darts. For the side seams, I wanted the pattern to line up, so I took extra care to pin on each of the lines where they match up. Next, I sewed in the zipper. I tried my best here to also line up the pattern, but that proved too much of a feat on a Sunday afternoon, so I settled for the mismatch. It didn't bother me as much as I thought, and it's a learning journey for me, so hopefully I'll be better next time. Lastly, I added a waistband and I was done. Here's the before, and here's the after. I hope you enjoyed this flip. Until next week, bye!